Ugh. All right. Oops. Hold on. Crumb, crumb, crumb. Uh-oh. Lighting is all messed up. Here, watch a kitten video for a second. Oh, goodness. Welcome to the show. Yeah. All right then, guys. How's that? How's that for the start of the show? Oh my goodness, kerfuffle, kerfuffle. Here, go watch this. Okay, it's a little after 5 p.m. West Coast time. Yes, that is right. I'm thinking then it's probably around 2-ish or so Hawaii time. 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. And welcome to the chaos that is Mad Statter's world. I am Mad Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. We have got the office kitten. That was right. The office kitten is what saved the day. One of the office kittens. That's the girl office kitten named Archie, and she is very feather-oriented. That being said, Archie is also a big tease, and she just doesn't like to let me touch her. She basically lets everybody else in the office touch her, but I am not allowed. And now it's turned into a big game, and I think that I'm probably never going to be allowed to touch her because now it's our thing. And I'm kind of sad about that because it's not me that's playing with the feather in that video. It is my coworker, Aveda, who came down from Canada. And the cat had never met her because she'd been in Canada the whole time. Oh, yeah, she loved Aveda. She loved Aveda. So, all right then. I am going to do a couple things and stuff. First off, music. Check. Check, check, check. We've got that off the checklist. Now I'm going to say hi to Gina. I'm going to say hi to Puzzycat. I'm going to say hello to Darlene and Rick. Super stoked you can join us today from the islands. Excuse me there while I did a little bit of a hiccup. And let's see what else. All right, cool. Looks like I said hello to everybody who's saying things in the chat and stuff. Oh, excuse me. We do have, in theory, the streams running from YouTube and Twitch. I think I'm going to have to do a double check about things and stuff. And it looks like, indeedy, we have got the Twitch talk coming in to the YouTube talk. So I'm going to assume if and when someone comes on in on the YouTube side, then they will probably show up on the Twitch talk. And Puzzycat, yes, I'm on the verge of getting a drink, but I also feel like there's a really big burp coming on right now, and I don't really want to burp right into the microphone. Like, you see, you guys, well, how about this? We're gonna get the party started, and then I'll explain to you, what. All right, let's do it. Okay, so YouTube side isn't streaming. It is streaming for me. I think YouTube, I think sometimes you have to trick YouTube into working. And I know that that's not a helpful tech piece of tech advice. You have to trick your computer into making it work. But I've got YouTube streaming on here, we can double check something. I am on YouTube now. Does this show up for everyone's? Boop. Okay. Ooh-wee. Okay, so Rick says he's got YouTube on the Roku TV, and Puzzycat is saying that you want me to go check. You're more than welcome, Puzzycat, but I just went to YouTube as well, and in theory, I am seeing everything that's showing up. So I think, Gina, you're just gonna have to trick your computer into it or something. But I also know that it's not your job to make sure that the Twitch stream is running. That's, yeah, I think you need to, like, click on it or click live. See, okay, Gina, all right, see, you see, Gina, you are noticing my hugely Achilles heel stuff things. So, the YouTube... When I create my... Okay, alright, let's start from the beginning. Because I'm streaming onto two platforms, Twitch and YouTube, I have to use streaming software, and I choose to use Restream. So, when I create the Restream event, it comes up with this URL. Now, Twitch and Restream seem to, like, understand each other, man. YouTube and Restream seem to have a little bit of a miscommunication issue. Like, YouTube will have the waiting for... It will have the event notification, but then once the stream actually starts, that's different than the event notification. So you're not going to get to the event through the event notification. Because I'm pretty sure this is because I don't know what I'm doing. Because I'm pretty sure that I need to use that little event code that Restream creates, and I need to put it somewhere in YouTube, but I haven't figured out where yet. And the last time I tried to fiddle with that, we ended up having it so YouTube, none of the nothings were going through YouTube. Anybody who was trying to watch on YouTube couldn't chat with anybody, and so yeah. And so, okay, it's working on your mobile app. All right, cool. I don't know. Like, I definitely don't understand. Because I'm watching myself on YouTube right now. You just have to know, how to get there, I guess. And if I were a better host, I suppose I would know how to get there. But I don't, so why don't you go wander in the YouTube universe for a minute? Or just hang out here on Twitch. If Twitch isn't too twitchy, then it should be good to go. Because basically, and I know that these are famous last words, but basically, YouTube generally doesn't have a whole lot of trolley trolls coming through. If we have to worry about the people we have to worry about, it generally seems to be on the Twitch side. So, so as far as the moderationist duties go, probably hanging out on Twitch is the better plan, or more needed, shall we say. So I wouldn't worry too much about YouTube, other than my worry, which is, are the chats crossing over? And from what I can see, they are. And so, okay, and Gina, it's working on your computer now. Yeah, see, like I said, you have to trick it. You have to trick it into working. And I know, as a general rule, science doesn't work that way. But here's the deal. Sometimes it does. And I actually say that kind of facetiously, but also kind of seriously. There is a certain, there is a certain voodoo to electricity, right? sometimes like a cord will only work. Like say you've got a USB cord and it's a USB on both sides, but for whatever reason, it only likes to go one way, not the other way. You'd think each USB could go into whatever USB, but no, this one only likes it to be pet this way or whatever. And I note, and that's a really bad example, but I'm using it as an example anyway. And I noticed that once, and I was talking to a friend who does smart homes, with wires electricity into smart homes, and he even agreed. He's like, sometimes it's just the voodoo in the machine, and there's no explanation for it, and you just have to let it. You just have to acknowledge that electrical voodoo exists, maybe pay an homage to, like, get the technical Menahunis satisfied. But yeah, so now that we're done being all technical at it, Kulika, good to see you. And Kulika, I managed to get to the library today, only to find out that there was not a copy of Man from Snowy River at the library. But that's okay, because I'm putting in another call for it to come back. Eventually we will get it. And this week isn't going to be as busy as last week, because last week was the final tax deadline. And for those of you who don't know, I manage a tax office. So last week was a little bit more hectic than it needed to be. This week I'm hoping it'll be a little bit more smooth sailings. And let's see here. So Puzzycat, something is wrong on YouTube. You have both on your iPad as Twitch and Roku as YouTube. Okay, well, my YouTube seems to be okay. That being said, I am not denying your technical reality, because you are on the other side of the country, and who knows what's going on in YouTube systems between West Coast and East Coast. For all I know, in Oklahoma City, there could be a big band of YouTube Menahunis just sitting there in the internet control room, because that's where they hang out, is the internet control room, because those exist. And then they're just keeping YouTube from coming over to Florida. Nope, not getting past Oklahoma City. It's the OKC. And they don't know YouTube. It's not okay to go by me. That's my best guess as to what's going on. Yep, exactly. Yes, Rick, exactly. No more taxes, sort of. I actually have a state tax deadline at the end of the month to deal with, but that is not nearly as stressful as the one that we're all familiar with here in the federal world, as it were. All right, so I noticed that Darlene had something to say before we started talking about things and stuff, and I did not pay any attention to what she had to say. So now I'm scrolling back up, and it says, Rick and I wore ourselves out taking over a 3-mile hike down the bike path here, North Shore Pipeline, by the school area here. Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, time to just kick back then for a minute. That's right, Darlene. And let's see here. Rick, only a breakfast so far. Some eggs with banana pancakes covered with homemade coconut syrup. Was so good. Yeah, Rick, I think I know the syrup of which you are referring to. In fact, let's see here. Okay, Kulika, it's okay. It's long, has great vistas and a predictable storyline, but the execution of the chase scenes is why I suggested that movie. Oh, okay, interesting. Because yeah, I've never seen this movie, so the execution of the chase scenes. All right, excellent. We'll have to definitely check that out. Because different things make different movies. And last night, when we watched Kuliana, that particular movie, though a little bit, definitely not, action-packed. I want to say it's a slightly slow-moving film, but it's not really a slow-moving film. The twists and turns in the plot are very, keep it really interesting, and you just, I don't know, but, it was kind of a low-energy movie, yet still managed to be very intense. For those of you who haven't seen Kuliana Maui, I really recommend it. It came out in 2017. It's a independent film that hit the film circuit. It's a Hawaiian filmmaker and phenomenal film noir style story. Super, super awesome. And Darlene, it was Picola Tea that gave you the homemade coconut syrup to put on pancakes, ice cream, etc. Yes, indeed. In fact, let's see here. Why, I think... Okay, I've got a little bit of a time image slideshow for Rick and Darlene and their food adventure, some of their food adventures so far. And I believe in this particular set of photos, see if you can spockanize that coconut syrup that she's talking about. Now, the coconut syrup isn't in every picture, don't get me wrong, but it is there. I can't remember what that is. I think Darlene ordered it, and that bread just looks so fluffy. This was Rick's omelet, though, and all I can say is it's a darn good thing that Rick wasn't within arm's reach of me, because I would eat that omelet up. Hey, look at that white bear over there on the left. That white bear. That bear right there. Is that berry coconut syrup? It might be berry coconut syrup. I'll bet you it is. And more of the delicious haul that the group of folks gifted to Rick and Darlene. Look at all those gift bags that were exchanged and that haul that Rick and Darlene walked away from that meeting with. I gotta say, Mitchie Mama and Wild Willie hooked me up. Not quite as much stuff, but there was only one of me, and I was only there for a week. But it feels like they hooked me up with all that same stuff that they hooked Rick up with. I mean, I had a bountiful bounty of bountiness. Now, Picola Tea didn't give me anything because she wasn't in town when I was there. However, when I saw Picola Tea when she was in my town many months ago, holy crumb, she gave me this chocolate mochi that is the best thing in the world. Cannot find it stateside, and so I am both thankful and not thankful that she gave me that stuff because it was a little bit too good. And Darlene, you had a grilled mahi sandwich with pickles and mac and potato salad. That sounds delicious. And let's see here. I wanted to talk about one more little thing, and it should be coming up soon, shortly-ish, maybe. Oops, maybe not. All right, we're going to have to go through. This, for you guys who don't know, this is the Liliha Bakery in, Pearl City, I think? And I didn't go to that Liliha Bakery. I went to a different one, but they do seem to be quite large, and a lot of them seem to have a restaurant with them. I don't know if the original one up on Liliha Street has a restaurant, though. When I drove by that one looked really tiny. But I still want that omelet right now. And that fried rice. Okay, here we go. The taro chips, you guys, on the right-hand side of this picture, there's a bag of taro chips. And I'll tell you what, those taro chips were one of the yummiest things I ate that whole time that I was in on Oahu. And I'm 90% sure it was Wild Willie who gave them to me. But then again, I might be lying. Either way, those taro chips, super flippin' tasty. Super tasty. And so, Rick, Darlene, if you haven't eaten them yet, well, dig in, because they're super tasty. And, all right, so, let's see. What do I have? What do we got here today for everybody? Oh, yes. I know what we've got here. If you were here, I think it was last night that I was talking about it. But it might have been last stream. I was promising something that was totes adorbs. And that's right. I am going to show you something that is totes adorbs. But before I'm going to show you something that is totes adorbs, I'm going to show you more food. Oh, that's right. More food. Because here's the deal. On the North Shore, they have what's known as ono grinds. And that's right, this Howley is saying they have some Ono grinds up on the North Shore. That's right, that's what I'm saying. And some of the stuff on the North Shore is island famous, world famous, famous, something like Giovanni's. That's right, the Giovanni shrimp truck is exactly what is the magical shrimp truck place. Lots of places make the garlic shrimp, but apparently Giovanni's is the best. Then, of course, there's Ted's Bakery with the chocolate jalapeno pie right near Giovanni's food truck, but that is that garlic shrimp in question. Now, I did get a picture of Rick eating the garlic shrimp, but I figured I wouldn't embarrass him like that. But look at the little thing. Look at that. Okay, so here we have it. Giovanni's one more time. Yeah, that's right. Giovanni's one more time. And then delicious, delicious shrimpy shrimps. But this is the Totes Adorbs thing. What is that? Let's take a closer look. Look at that. Look at that. Rick and Darlene 2023. With a heart. They're so cute. I love Rick and Darlene. Yes, sirree. And let's see here. Looks like Andy Bumatai watching from the Hilo airport on your way home. Hung out with Tina Rose last night after the show. Fantastic, Andy. That is so awesome. I saw a picture of Tina Rose and you on someone's Facebook feed. I'm going to say it's yours, but it might have been Tina Rose's. And let's see here. So that's the Totes Adorb thing that I was promising you guys last night. And so now we're back to my face instead of the Totes Adorbs thing. And Pussycat, isn't it though? Isn't it charming? I mean, come on. Little heart on the bus or the van or whatever. The food truck. And Darlene, diet definitely going to be happening when you get back. Exactly, when you get back. But Darlene was saying also those girls are special, so welcoming, even got Lay's. Wild Willie, super generous too, coffees, chocolate mac nuts, and Lee Michimoto gave plenty too, even candies for the grandkids. Yes, so glad you were able to meet up with the Ohana for real. Yeah, for serious, Rick, Darlene. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to have time to meet up with Andy. If you do, my best guess is you might meet at Zippy's. And Andy is an amazing person to meet in real life. Because here's the deal about Andy Bumatai. He actually exists. You guys, he's not just a figment of our collective imaginations. He actually exists. And, yes, and super awesome person. And, I hope that you guys get to meet more people when you're here on the island, because I know there's plenty more people like Option and Elaine, so many people that live there on the island, so hopefully paths will be crossed. And yes, Pussycat, I know, isn't it really weird? With the population of artificial intelligence, you would think that we've all been bamboozled for the last couple years by this animatronic Hawaiian man named Andy Bumatai, but actually the man behind the curtain is actually the man. It's Andy Bumatai. That's right. If he peels off his mask, it'll be another Andy underneath his mask, because that's who he actually is. And and let's see here. Oh, that's right. It's right. You got to meet Darlene. That's right. You and Rick got to meet Tina Rose Cager as well. Yeah, Tina Rose just got around this week, didn't she? You were meeting all sorts of the Hamajang gang, and you're so lucky because yeah, Tina normally lives on Hilo. Side, well, no, actually that's not true. She lives in Volcano, which I guess is Hilo side, but she lives on Hawaii Island, not Oahu. And so yeah, Andy, I kind of got a giggle too of imagining you ripping your mask off to reveal another Andy Bumatai. And Darlene, yes, Andy and James are like super busy with their broadcast quality events that they're doing 5 days a week. Now, Andy, I don't know if you were here at the very beginning of this stream, but if you weren't, I suggest you go and watch the beginning to get some tips on broadcast quality. Oh yeah, the way the show started today, definitely something that you want to shoot for. You and James for sure. Take those notes and do exactly what I did. Or not. Yeah. In fact, don't. Well, Andy, at the beginning of the stream today, things were a little bit cattywampus, shall we say? So yeah, if someone has complaints about your broadcast quality, let me tell ya, just send them my way, and I'll show them how it's done, what a pro does or doesn't do. Cause yeah. Hey, Cindy Krause, good to see you in the house. Awesome. I saw on your Facebook feed you were hanging out with Lady Tie-Dye a whole bunch this week. Super stoked that the Hamajang gang is getting together, both on the continental United States, aka Turtle Island, and on the island part of the states, aka the Hawaiian Islands. And Gina, you're just dying over there. Don't die yet, because I still need you to wield the sword of no mercies. That's right, the sword of no mercies. And let's see here. Okay, so we've covered a little bit of foods, a bit of foods actually. Most foods we've covered. And we've covered our Totes Adorbs thing, which we're gonna revisit right now because it's just Totes Adorbs. Rick and Darlene, 2023. Totes Adorbs, man. Totes Adorbs. But one reason why we are focusing so much on Rick and Darlene today is because, because here's the deal, guys. I'm not a videographer at all. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be one day. Certainly doesn't mean I haven't tried this week. But yeah, okay. So, you see, the Hokule. Are we familiar with the Hokule? Oh, right. I knew what I wanted to do. You know what? I'm going to go do it. Here's the deal. All right, you guys. I meant to do broadcast quality right here. I'm abroad, and I'm casting. All right, we're going to watch some kittens. I'm going to grab what I meant to grab, and then we're going to talk about what I'm trying to talk about. All right, guys, here's a kitten. Let's do it. right, thanks for your patience, you guys. And yes, Pussycat, indeed, a different Lono song than the one that we're listening to right now. As always, Lono is the soundtrack of the stream. And Rick, I'm so happy that this is a 10 on the cute scale. I figure, you know, the internet is made for cats. And so as long as I've got a couple kitten videos up my sleeve, maybe we can do some good things, right? Right. So while we were having a kitten interlude, Darlene pointed out that this morning he also had a nice video chat with a couple of the grandkids to show them where we were staying and just to connect. That was fun. That is awesome. Rick and Darlene, actually, I've been meaning to ask, the place that you're staying, would it be big enough for you guys to rent out with like your grandkids and sort of like have a big family? Is it big enough for, you know, for your grandkids to come visit? Like, let's just say they hopped on a plane tomorrow. Would there be room for them? I mean, I know they're not gonna. Anyway, yeah, how big is the spot that you're at? I guess is what I'm asking. All right, so while I'm waiting now, so I've got that. All right. And Pussycat, yeah, you're a liar, but you're a very sweet liar. I've been smooth the whole stream. Yeah, I will take that compliment where I can get it, even though I know that you are quite literally putting lipstick on a pig at this point, because this show is a little bit country fair, shall we say. Okay, so it's too small for all the grandkids at one time. Got it. Okay. Okay, so part of the reason why we're hanging out with Rick and Darlene's pictures so much today is because A, they have sent a ton of them and I want to share them with all of you. But also, yes, exactly, Gina, a little hamajang. That is exactly, or maybe a lot hamajang. That would be what this stream is turning out to be. And you know, the funny thing is I really did try and prep for it, but then I went and ran errands that went way too long, and I came back and now we're here. And so, since we're here, I want to talk to you about some things and stuff, shall we? Yes. It's like eating pudding with your fingers. Good job, Pussycat. Nice reference. That is exactly it. So, this week, after taxes were over, or no, while the tax season was still happening, whatever, I got notification from, a lot of people got notification from social medias that the Hokule was being transported from the Hawaiian Islands, specifically Oahu. It was being transported by ship up to Tacoma. And then from Tacoma, it was going to be towed to Seattle, where it would then be shipped again up to Alaska. So, I found out, and when I found out that it was going to be heading to Tacoma, I put out my feelers and paid some attention to things and stuff. Now, if we're wondering what it is I'm talking about, this is the Hokule, and it is a outrigger canoe that is getting ready for a 4-year journey around the globe. And it's going to be done in, you know, certain legs, etc., etc. But part of the first part of the journey was getting the boat from Hawaii up to Alaska, where they're going to start. En route, they didn't go directly from Hawaii to Alaska. Matson was the cargo carrier that transported it from Oahu to Tacoma. Matson had a ship called the R.J. Pfeiffer, and so the Polynesian Voyaging Society posted on their Facebook page that the boat had been loaded onto the R.J. Pfeiffer and it was headed to Tacoma, Washington. So, and it was expected to show up on the 21st of April. So, first off, I was kind of surprised. I didn't realize that it was like only a 3 or 4 day journey between Oahu and Seattle port. So I thought that was kind of weird. I, for some reason, thought it took longer than 3 or 4 days to get the ship stuff from Seattle, or from Oahu to Seattle, but apparently not. So, come April 21st, I am on the Vessel Watch website Not sure if you're familiar with it, but basically there are various websites out there where you can track the planes above you, track the ships out there. You literally, in real time, can go to this website and you're like, well, I'm in the Puget Sound and I'm looking at a ship container right there. And then you go to that website and you find where you are on the map and you're like, yep, that's a ship container right there. And you can go, oh, look, that's a plate that's flying under the flag of Portugal and it just came from Mexico. And it's a, blah, 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 blah. You can actually track the vessels. So, tracked the vessel, saw the vessel docking in real time with the tugboats that docked it. I got to see. One of them was called the Guardian. One of them was called the Athena. Serious as a heart attack, you guys. I watched it do this, right? So, all day on the 21st, I was at work, supposed to be doing work. So I'm watching the ship vessel watch, and I know that at some point they're going to be towing the Hokule from Tacoma up past West Seattle where I work into the Duwamish Waterway, which I've mentioned many times on the stream, to the Alaska Marine Lines barge. The Alaska Marine Lines barge is then going to bring it up to Alaska. I don't know what time this is going to be happening, but I can tell from the various ships on the vessel watcher who is near that ship in Tacoma where things might be getting offloaded onto another barge and blah, blah, blah. So I'm watching, this thing, and boom, there is a tugboat that's headed out from Tacoma, heading up, and it's supposed to go to Seattle. So I was like, that might be on that. But then boom, another tugboat, just maybe 20 to 30 minutes later, also launched to head to Seattle. Both of them, their next port of call was Seattle, because you can tell in the thing, right? So I'm at work, and I still have work to do. Just because it's the end of the deadline doesn't mean there's work to do. So I'm doing work, and I'm watching this ship, right? And I'm like, okay. If I leave work now and head to the point of view where I think I want to catch it, we should be intersecting real good, So I leave work, and my boss is like, "Are you done for the day?" And I was like, "No, I'll be back." I didn't tell her what I was doing, did nothing. I just left. And so drove down like a bat out of hell, down to the shoreline, tried to catch it at one particular point, wasn't able to catch it there, so I knew I had to cross over and catch it at the next viewpoint, which I did, and so that ended up with my first video failure. So I went through a bunch of hoops and rushed around doing a whole bunch of things and stuff, in hopes that I could catch a video of the Hokule getting towed from Tacoma to Seattle. And this is what I ended up with. Look at that professional shot. The rule of 2/3, steady panning. Oh, the hand is just so steady. That horizon, it's so horizontal. Yeah, right. Here's the deal. The Hokule wasn't on that barge. The Hokule was so totally not on that barge. In fact, that barge, halfway through its journey, its port of call changed to Everett, and it turns out it was going to the military base. I don't know what it was, but yeah, where is it? Good question, Rick. That wasn't it. That was the first barge that I thought okay, it might be there. And I'm gonna that's not it. Okay, so remember, there's a second barge coming. Only the second barge, it's going way slower, right? And so I'm like, all right, it's kind of cold. Actually, it was really cold. I wasn't really prepared to stay out for like another hour in the cold on the beach, but I was like, whatever, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, a little bit disappointed. You think there, Cindy Krause? Right, so I was like, all right, fine. All right, I've already left work, so I'm waiting for this second tug to come up because it's got to be, right? Right, of course. I mean, what else could it possibly be? Yeah, let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, what else could it possibly be? I don't know. Oh, look, it's a double hulled barge. Oh, look. It's full of oil. Oh, it's a tugboat pushing a double-hulled, oil-filled barge up to the refinery. It's just full of oil. I mean, maybe it's full of some kind of gas, but not really. It's just like oil, probably. My horizon is a little better, I guess. Still not doing a good job with the rule of 2/3 and everything. Hand is a little steadier, I suppose. Panning isn't, that bad. I'm keeping pace with it, I guess. But after I filmed it for a while, I was like, well, if I know that it's a double-hulled barge, I know that it's full of oil. So, like, why am I even filming this? So, an hour and a half later, I returned to work. With about 2 minutes of usable footage. And the only reason why the footage is usable is to highlight what I didn't get done or what I was hoping to do. And then, basically, the best part of the video that I got, which also not really that good, there was a bumblebee on the hillside that I wanted to get a video of, but it disappeared by the time my camera got ready. But here's a little bit. Let's see if you can spot the bumblebee, which then this just turns into a grassy hillside. I don't know, maybe the JFK shooters will be there. See if you can find them. You might be able to see the bee sort of near the top of the green hill. It's a tiny little black dot. If you can't see it, I'm not at all surprised, because how could you see it? How could you? How could you see it? So, this was the hillside behind me when I got the barge footage. And I dare say it was some of the best footage I got for the day. Now, I'm not saying it's the footage I went out for at all. But I figured, you know what? I'm gonna grab it and call it a win, because I was outside for an hour and a half. I might as well walk away with some kind of video for it, right? Right. Needless to say, an hour and a half out of work for about 2.5 minutes worth of very questionable video content. And when I say questionable, I mean, was that really worth taking a video of? I don't know. Probably not. Most likely no. But I was there, so I did it. Yeah, exactly. Cindy Krause, the hill was just gorgeous. The hill was just phenomenal. Yeah, so I don't know when or how the Hokule finally got taken from Tacoma to Seattle. I didn't pay attention on Saturday, and now today when I looked at the vessel tracker, the RJ Pfeiffer has long gone. It's in Port Angeles now, like it should have been on Friday. And so I don't know. So next time it's coming through town, I don't know. I'm hoping next time the Hokule comes through town, it will actually be with the crew paddling in. Honestly, what I'm really hoping, and I'm sure this is not what's going to happen, but what I'm really hoping is, and I don't remember what time of year this is that happens, but there's in the Salish Sea, once a season, the tribes all meet, and they do they all travel by canoe and they meet each other somewhere in the Salish Sea. And so, and oftentimes it's somewhere along the Seattle shore that they meet, because the Seattle shoreline is easily accessible both from the southern Salish and the northern Salish and the tribes that aren't necessarily Salish Sea tribes, but are the mountain regions of the Puget Sound. So I'm hoping, what I'm hoping is during that time of the year, the Hokule will come in with the local native paddlers, and it will be a part of that canoe festival, but I have no idea if that's going to happen or not. All I know is I really want to try and get a Flippin' Flirpin' video, or at least a picture or something of the Hokule when it's in Seattle. If it shows up in Seattle, I have no idea. But Darlene basically sums it up very nicely. Hubbut. That's exactly it. Hubbut. But on the bright side, or ironic side, or it is a small flippin' world side, I was posting my little adventures of failure with the Hokulea on my Facebook feed, and as it turns out, one of my friends from roller derby, she used to be married to a Samoan man, and one of her nephews used to be, or at one point was, a crew member on the Hokulea. And so she was able to throw down a whole bunch of pictures. It's like, well, that's cool, but I didn't take the picture. I didn't get to see it. So so by proxy, I do know somebody who knows somebody who used to work on the Hokulea. So that's kind of cool. But it's still not quite the same. So yeah. So couple things that we're learning about this. One, not a videographer. Two, this is why we're looking at Rick and Darlene's content today, you guys. This is why we're looking at Rick and Darlene's content, because I got none. That is it. So, do you think that Rick and Darlene are done? Do you think that Rick and Darlene are done? No, they're not. We have a little bit more content from Rick and Darlene. But before we do content from Rick and Darlene, I figure we can take a little Lono listing break. And last week, or last stream, we had a Lono song that was, a little bit emotional, a little bit intense, etc., etc. Well, this Lono song is probably the opposite. It is a song that needs a sense of humor. It's a little bit cheeky, it's a little bit naughty, and it's a little bit fun. So, let's watch this one.
Okay, if you go up to the Kalaupapa lookout, here are Molokai. There's two trails. One trail goes to the lookout. The other trail goes to one of Molokai's most scenic points. Yeah, here we go. Have you ever been up to the phallic rock? Sit on the rock and you have good luck. Boto nui mua I ka boto nui. Kahi, lua, kolu e ha, mua I ka boto nui. E lima, e uno, e hiku, e wanu, mua I ka boto nui. Mua, hope, mua ka boto nui. Mua, hope, mua I ka boto nui. Ue, ue, ne pa apo haku mai kai, mua I ka boto nui. Koni, koni pa apo haku mai kai, I mua I ka boto nui. Mua, hope, 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 mua I ka boto nui. Woo! Okay, now you know.
All right, there you go. Now you know. So, like I said, a little bit of a cheeky song there. On the other hand, song might be a little cheeky, but the site is sacred. It is a sacred rock. It is someplace that should be treated with respect, despite the the nature of the tune. It actually is, like I said, it is a sacred area. And YouTube, Rick had to jump off Twitch. Your phone kept freezing in the barge video, so let's see how YouTube treats you. Yes. Good to see you on the YouTube side. At least someone's taking advantage of that. All right, so speaking of sacred areas, see, there was a little bit of a method to my madness there. Rick and Darlene went, oh, where did it go now? They went to a heiau overlooking Waimea Bay on the North Shore and got a bunch of pictures. So we are going to take a look-see at those pics, but before we do that, we're going to say, hey, Kenny from the Cove, good to see you here today. Thanks so much for hanging out. We are, I am the, what about, let's see, what is it? I'm the person who came home from a vacation with 14 cartridges full of slides that I'm showing to you. Only here's the deal. It's not even my vacation. It's someone else's vacation, and I'm showing their slides because I'm jealous and I want to be there. And so, so here's some more pictures of the heiau, the signs explaining the stuff at the heiau, and the overview. For those of you who are not familiar with the term, a heiau is a sacred space in Hawaiian culture, usually a shrine. They're treated as shrines, and back in the old Hawaiian ways, that is the places of worship for the various gods and goddesses. Different ali'i, different royalty had different churches built for different reasons. Some of them still exist to this day. One of the more famous ones is located in Kauai, and it is a heiau dedicated to Laka, and Laka is the one of the demigods who introduced hula to the Hawaiian Islands. Laka, of course, also a real person who introduced hula to the Hawaiian Islands. And when you go to Laka's heiau on Kauai Island, you might actually be treated to the sound of the ancient drums on the wind. And other really crazy magical forces that you really wouldn't think exist. But we're not on Kauai. We are on Oahu. This is a completely different heiau. And so this is the heiau that overlooks Waimea Bay. This is Waimea on the North Shore. And yeah, this is a great picture, Rick, the view of Waimea. And then this is part of the heiau collective area. It's a huge, this heiau is probably one of the bigger ones that still is in existence. And these black rocks, if you don't know any better, let me just make it clear, don't touch the black rocks. Just don't even think about touching them. Don't touch them. They do not belong to you. They are sacred rocks. If one fell on the ground, leave it there. It is not to be replaced in the wall by you. They will have a Native Hawaiian come fix that wall. If you are not a Native Hawaiian, do not touch any of the rocks. Period. End of story. No argument. No questions. That is a command. Touching those rocks is a kapu. And that means it's a forbidden thing. Do not do it. And so now that I'm being all bossy, that's right. You better believe it, Soda Wax. So bossy. You have to malama the aina. Take care of the aina. It is a taboo. Exactly. And so it's a Hawaiian cultural site. You need to show respect. Look, do not move, remove, mark, or wrap the rocks. Any wrapped rocks that you might see there was done as an offering to a specific ancestor or goddess by a local Native Hawaiian, not a Haole Malahini like yourself. Haole Malahini like yourself is you look with eyes, you don't look with hands. Period. End of story. Hey, Praytech, good to see you. We are sharing some pictures of a heiau located on the north shore of Oahu, taken by Rick and Darlene. This would be an example of an offering that someone has left either towards their ancestors or as a gift to a god or demigod that they are praying to. And eMusic, what heiau is this? It is it's the one above Waimea, and I'll tell you as soon as I can figure. It's the Pu'o Mahuka heiau, the Hill of Escape. It's the one right above Waimea. And Praytech, you're in South Korea right now. Not surprised to hear that you are being international. And Gina, exactly, Malahini, that is what all of us would be if we went to go visit there. And by all of us, I mean all of us that are currently on Turtle Island, i.e. the continental United States. Any Native Hawaiian who's from the Oahu area is obviously not a Malahini. Malahini being defined as visitor. That is your word of the day. Malahini means visitor. And I know that lots of folks think that haole means visitor. Kind of does, sort of. Not really. But, we've got synonyms in the English language too. Why can't the Hawaiians? And that's how it works. And by the way, eMusic, so happy to see you here today. I know that you were saying that you might have some homework that you would keep you busy, but it sounds like you were able to either do it quickly or just you decided you deserved a little breaky break. And let's see here. So, boom, there we go. And Gina, haole means foreigner. Yeah, it does. Actually, apparently what it really means is one who does not exchange ha. And so it's a quite literal meaning, which it translates to foreigner. But let's see here. So, eMusic. So when you visited that heiau, you saw activities, happenings from ancient times. They looked at me in astonishment at your dress. Wow, amazing. So eMusic, what was okay? When you say that they looked at you in astonishment at your dress, do you mean how you were dressed? Or was it something about your dress that was of a sacredness or something that caught the ancestors' eye? It was how you were dressed. Okay. So it sounds like they weren't expecting to see you on their plane, and maybe you weren't expecting to see them on your plane. Like, wow, how did that, what? She's not supposed to see the dead people, and the dead people aren't supposed to see her. Is that, okay, there we go. Right, yeah. Sort of like in the movie Coco, when the little boy first dies, And suddenly the ghosts are like, whoa, we can see the kid, and the kid can see us, and that's not how that's supposed to work. So yeah, there you go. That sounds like a magical experience. Well, actually, I mean, obviously it was a magical experience. What is it that, if you care to share, if you do not, fine, but if you care to share, what did you witness the ancient people doing? Like, what was what were they, what did you see? If you care to answer. And C Honda, good to see you. Fantastic on the YouTube side. And eMusic, it's happened at a few house. So just doing the everyday tasks. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I know that obviously I've never experienced anything like that, but I do know that when I was at the heiau up on Kauai, the Laka heiau, I can say that it was one of the most uncomfortable places I have been to, energy-wise. It was very chaotic. It was, I could feel things there, and then so to center myself, I started doing Tai Chi, and it all settled, and I felt much less nauseous, actually, to tell you the truth, and it was a beautiful thing. So that's as close as I could even come to experiencing the energy at a heiau. That being said, there is a YouTube video at the Laka heiau that, obviously because it's a video, I have no idea if it's been doctored. But in the video, if you listen closely on the wind, you can hear the ancient drums. And like I said, I don't know if it's doctored or not, but it's the coolest video I've ever seen. And one of the reasons why it's the coolest video I've ever seen is because I've been to that location, and I have experienced the strangest energy I have ever felt was at that heiau. Absolutely no two ways about it. That plot of land was a powerful section of, it was very clearly used for worship. and so eMusic, you know the heiau I'm talking about. You've been to that heiau many times on Kauai. Yeah. And let's see here. So eMusic, when Hilo was going to build on empty forest land, you were called in to see what activities happened there in ancient times. Okay, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. And so eMusic, the land that Hilo called you in for, was it, were you eventually able to be like, I guess you can use it, this isn't too offensive, like, was it an acceptable piece of land for their use, their desired use, as it were? Or did you just be like, no, cannot, no, cannot? And I know that this seems like little, wishy-washy weirdness to those who don't partake in the spiritual side, but the reality is there are a lot of things that reality can't necessarily explain. And so for those people who are able to see things differently, it's always valuable to get that perspective. And Kulika had one chunk of lava rock jump out of your bag in 2018, stowed away in one coffee bag, exterior folded bag. Held that bugger on a Hawaiian chicken statue we had brought home, took back in 2021, felt much better when it was home. Kulika, there was a reason why I just went, why I went off. Don't touch the rocks. Don't take the rocks. Leave the rocks alone. Don't pick up the rock. Don't, just leave the rock alone. And, Let's see here. C Honda E-Music. Where was that? Kauai Heiau. We were at one on our last trip. C Honda, the one that I'm talking about and that E-Music is talking about is it's KE Point, KE Beach, at the state park, right before the Napali Coast Trail begins, outside of Honolulu, on the Honolulu side area of the Napali Coast on Kauai. There's KE Beach, and then above KE Beach is the Heiau. And so let's see here. E-Music, you didn't talk with an administrator, but your thoughts were conveyed. I didn't make judgments about building on the land, just emphasized its sacredness. Okay, gotcha. Gina, yeah, highly sensitive and also a skeptic. It's a weird combination, isn't that? Yep, there you go. And let's see here. Rick, you're thinking we're hiking. Gotcha. So, yeah, so C Honda, do you know, does that Heiau sound familiar? Like where you were at when you were on Kauai? And speaking of Kauai, have any of you been to the Blue Room in Kauai? First off, does anybody know what the Blue Room is? Kulika, Kauai is one magical place. Yeah, of all the islands that I've been to, and I haven't been to all of them, but of all the islands that I've been to, Kauai is my favorite. I've never been to Molokai. I've never been to Lanai. Obviously, I've never been to Niihau, and I've never been to Koholave. But I've been to all the other ones. Well, I mean, all the main islands, obviously. I haven't been to Molokini. I haven't been to, I haven't been to the tiny ones. But of all the main islands, I would say that Kauai is by far my favorite. And C Honda, don't know the Blue Room. Okay. Okay, so that wasn't the one that you were at. Got it. Well, the Blue Room is a wet cave that's in the same state park as Laka's Heiau, only it's not as far into the park. And it's this cave that you have to climb a big hill to get to, and you have to climb back, you have to climb down the other side of the hill to get into the cave. But in the cave, it's a wet cave, right? So there's this fresh water in the cave, and it's the coldest, freshest. Oh, the water just tastes so good. It's really good water. But at the back of the cave, you swim under the water for a bit, and then you pop up in a different room. And it's called the Blue Room. And it is also a wet cave. And it's completely enclosed. But because of the lava tubes that go into it, it's completely lit up. It's like a brightly lit swimming pool in the middle of the night. Bright turquoise water. That's just coming, the light is coming in and reflected through the lava tubes. And it is a crazy place. It's just, I still don't understand. First off, I don't understand who found it or why. I don't understand why I was crazy enough to follow my friend under the water to this place. Like, everything about when I say where it is, it's like, what the flying fork were you doing in there? That doesn't sound like something you would do. True, it doesn't. Yet I did. And it was pretty flippin' awesome. So, let's see here. So E-Music asking C Honda, are you thinking of the Heiau that's in Wailua traveling up the hill on the highway? And okay, so you do know what I'm talking about now. And let's see here, Rick. Now, why did I think the Blue Room was one bar? Well, Rick, I'm clutching my pearls. I'm so offended. Oh my, you think that I might inhabit a bar? I might set foot in some kind of ill-reputed liquor-serving saloon? Oh, goodness gracious, Rick, what kind of hussy do you take me for? Huh, what kind of hussy do you take me for? Yeah, so no, it's not a bar that I know of, although it should be, it could be. But no, it's not a bar. Nope. The Blue Note, apparently a great comedy club or music club or just club. But yeah, the Blue Note, or excuse me, the Blue Room, not to my knowledge. I don't think it's a bar, at least not that I know of. However, Rick, I feel as though I might have to go finding a Blue Room bar in the area. Hey, Randy Hammond, good to see you. All right, here we go. Met me at the Wahoo. That's right. Speaking, oh no. Well, Randy, are you suggesting that I might go to a bar? Oh, I dare say. Yeah. Good to see you here, Randy. First time chatter. You are now part of the Statterbox crew. I am Bad Statter, and welcome into Chatter with Statter. And that is right. Randy is someone who I did meet at the Wahoo, and as plenty of you know who hang out here, I've been known to go to the Wahoo on occasion. And for those of you who are new here, yeah, the Wahoo's a bar. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a bar. And Sodawax, did you meet Randy? Honestly, Sodawax, I don't know if you know Randy. So Randy meet Sodawax, Sodawax meet Randy. In real life, Sodawax is known as Tony. And for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, Sodawax does go to the Wahoo as well. I think we've mentioned that before. So as it turns out, we have got a serious case of the Wahoos going on here on this stream today. Real life, bar life, streaming life, all merging into one another. And, all right, so let's see, what do we got now for the last 10 minutes of the show? I think we might have covered a whole bunch of things and stuff, and I'm not so sure I've got anything else to talk about. So what shall we discuss for the last couple of minutes? We've already discussed that we don't know what we're doing for Statterbox at the Cinema on Saturday, but that's okay because we still have Wednesday to figure that out. And suddenly I'm very unsure of what day it is today. Today's Sunday, right, you guys? Today is Sunday, right? Oh, yes, today has to be Sunday because Andy is not at home. And if it wasn't Sunday, then Andy would be at home. Right. Oh my god. You guys, this is what brains look like after tax season. Gina, yes, it's Sunday. Okay, cool. I don't know why, for a second I was like, oh my god, what day is it today? I went to Staples today. I had to do some work errands and stuff, and in order to access our Staples reward card, I had to give them my phone, my work phone number. Okay, yeah, I have a work phone number. That's right, I do. I can't tell you how many minutes it took me to figure out my work phone number. It was a little bit laughable, or a lot laughable, actually. And so, let's see here. Randy, your computer wants to go to Chatterbait. I don't know about what Chatterbait is, but yes, I absolutely, Darlene, drew a total blank. And so finally I had to whip out my phone and then pretend like I was calling the office. And then I was like, oh, okay, I got it. And the guy behind the cash register was just like, are you that stoned? And it was like, actually, I'm not stoned at all. I wish I could say that I was stoned. That would be a really good excuse. But here I am. Totally sober. and I have no idea who I am, what I am, where I'm at, what day it is. I don't know nothing. So there you have it. Let's see here. Kenny, very good point. How often do I call myself at work? Not very often. But here's the deal, Kenny. How often do I leave the message? Hi, this is me from my work. This is my phone number. Blah, blah, blah. Like every voicemail I start with my phone number. Because I learned that when I was in college. I was interning. Strangest things that you learn, right? I'm interning at a psych ward in a hospital, in the town hospital, and one of the doctors, like, that I'm in the doctor's office, and he's listening to voicemails, and I hear him just like, you know, I hear him breathing exasperatedly, you know, and he's all pounding his buttons on his phone, you know, and he's like, finally, he hangs up the phone and just looks at me angrily. Just remember, every time you leave a voicemail, leave your phone number at the beginning of the message. So that way, if I have to go back and get it, I don't have to listen to your whole voicemail again. Which is, I guess, what he had been doing with this one person. And it was a particularly long message. So he was just like, I just need the phone number, but I have to listen through an 8-minute long message to get back to the phone number. But from that moment on, I learned, because I saw how pissed off it made him, like, you always start your voicemail off with, this is who I am, this is where I'm calling from, this is how you call me back. Now I'm going to tell you why I'm calling. And generally, I try to end the phone call with, this is how you can call me back. But I always begin the voicemail with the phone number. So even though I don't call myself at least once a day, I recite that stupid number back to somebody. And, yeah. Today was not going to be the day for the Staples guy. Clearly. Not at all. Yeah. So let's see here. Elaine. So, I'm wondering, Elaine. So, for those of you who are keeping score at home, like I am, Elaine is in the middle of a sewing fiasco. No, not a fiasco. A sewing frenzy. She's making ruffly dresses, and they need to be done by May. And apparently, May is getting close. And so, I'm wondering there, Elaine, how many dresses do you have left? Are you, like, on your final countdown? I think the last time you talked to me, you had 7 dresses. So, I'm hoping that you've got 5 or less at this point. I'm crossing all my fingers and my fingers to make it so I'm hoping. I don't know if that helps you with good luck or not, but anyway. And yeah, let's see here. Yeah, exactly, Rick. Always repeat, always. There you go. So you're on number 7 of 10. So you've got like 3 left then. I hope that's what you mean. In which case, we're super stoked. And you know what? Here we go. We're going to say we're super stoked anyway. We're going to say we're super stoked just so we can throw down the super stoked emote. That's right. Super stoked. Super stoked emote. All right. There we go. Okay, you guys. I'm going to do this even though this should have been done at the very beginning. The way we started this stream today was nothing but eye rolls and ha-has. Because it was smooth like that. Broadcast quality. I'm abroad doing a cast. It was of some sort of quality. Broadcast quality. There we have it. So, that's how we started out the day, full of ha-has that should have been flown. And now we're ending up the day with the ha-has that should have been flown. Which means it's time to wrap up. We've got like 4 minutes left. So, what are we going to talk about on Wednesday? I don't know, man. What are we going to talk about? Why don't we come on Wednesday and everybody, we can find out about it. And exactly, Elaine, you're totally almost there. I mean, I can feel it in my bones. You're going to be done by Wednesday. I think you're going to be done with all your dresses by Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how she's done with all the dresses. And if we don't talk about that, then we'll probably talk about something else. But before we wrap everything up, we need to talk about some serious campaign promises. Kenny from the Cove is running for president. Now look, he doesn't have a lot to offer. He may not even be the solution, but he does need a job. So vote for Kenny in 2024. He may not be the answer. He just needs a job. That's right. So I'm going to endorse Kenny from the Cove. That's my official endorsement. And honestly, the only endorsement that matters is the Mad Statter endorsement, right? And if it's not the Mad Statter endorsement that matters, then I think the next one down is Vermin Supreme, the guy who wears the rubber boot on his head and promises everybody a pony. I think his endorsement might be the next one down that people are looking for when running for the president. First they ask me, then they ask Vermin Supreme, because he's got the boot on his head and he promises ponies. I make no pony promises. I am pony neutral. That's one of the differences between Vermin Supreme and myself, is he promises ponies. I am pony neutral. Also, he wears a boot on his head, and I do not. I wear boots on my feet. So, two ways you can tell me and Vermin Supreme apart. Boots on my feet, not on my heads. Pony neutral. And I have come out with my endorsement, Kenny from the Cove. That is it. Soda Max. What? D'Antwoord? I can't remember how to pronounce that that band's name. Is that also a difference between me and Vermin Supreme? And let's see here. So the answer. Gotcha. The answer is 42, my friend. The answer is 42. I thought we already discussed that. And so Darlene is wondering how many dresses Elaine has done. And Elaine is like 3 more skirt ruffles, 8 yards gathered and sewn on a hem of 4-yard skirt. Takes a couple hours each skirt. Oh my goodness. Gina, what's the question? 42 is the answer to everything, so it doesn't really matter what the question is. 42 is the answer to everything. And if we don't get Man from Snowy River to have as our video for Statterbox at the cinema, I will, I guess, have to play Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where 42 will be explained. All right, there we go. So on that note, it's 6:30. It's not 6:42, it's 6:30. Just remember, the answer is always 42. And we will see each other on Wednesday, 4 p.m. West Coast time, Wednesday. Statterbox. No, not Statterbox. What do we call this show? Chatter with Statter. There we go. Chatter with Statter, 4 p.m. Wednesday. I'm going to try to be there. Maybe you can too. Gina, so happy you thought it was funny. And I'm glad that somebody thought it was funny, because this is a bumpy ride. But I'm giggling, and I hope everybody else is as well. All right. See you later, you guys. Andy, gotta get going on that plane. Hui ho, my friends. Take care.